I surprised myself by going to sleep. When I woke up the sun was shining through the trees. I'm not exaggerating when I saw I was never so fucking happy to see the sun again. Carefully, I sat up and looked around. No people, no breathing, no nothing. Everything seemed normal. Part of me wanted to go back to the wigwam to investigate, but the logical part of my screamed at me to get the fuck out of there. After all, there was the possibility they were watching it. I thought it a bad idea to come out the same way the trio and I came from, the south. Instead I went east and hugged the tree line that borders the lake. I ended up walking around the entire lake. It took me an extra hour, but I felt safe. I even saw a young doe, which for some reason put me at ease. Got around the lake. Walked back to campus, unlocked my bike, and got the fuck out of there. I haven't been near the woods since and I don't plan on ever going near them anytime soon. Apologies if my story was long-winded. I'm drunk and tired. Also, I apologize for not having pictures of the actual fort/wigwam. I must have erased them. Do some nice creek walking with my dog Mossy 500 on back looking for some quail cause I've got a fucking taste for it. Follow creek for about 2 hours, come out at big delta, water just dissipates into ground, see a few small Joshua trees in a circle with cut off teddy bear heads in between the branches and matches hanging from their ears as like earrings. What the fuck? PNG dog just sniffs for fucking ever. See a big hole in center water spring, I guess to myself. I walk over to it. Look at the edges and they have multiple types of animal skins lining the edge. Dog is sniffing them up and down. Look at, there are a few small feathers in the water. Strangest water I have ever seen. It is like a white blue color and couldn't see through it. Dog walks down and gets in it just drops off and she has to swim out. When she comes out I see a skull surface and then a big bubble comes out and the skull sinks back down. Human skull. Further investigate, see what looks like a rifle barrel sticking out of the water, pick it up. See pick. And then the dog starts to pace in circles around the spot. Leave this place, couldn't seem to find it when I got up about 3 years older, out in 10 on a cool night with 2 of my friends. We are only about 3 miles from one of their houses and there shouldn't be anything other than forest in every direction by back home. We have a tiny little fire outside the tent and the other 2 fellows are drunk of their ass. About 1 in the morning I hear something prowling around the tent. Fuck, those other guys are in a drunken stupor. I load up the 12 gigaamperes and yell out, "Hey, whatever fucking animal you are, go the fuck away or I'm going to shoot your ass." The noise fades into the distance and I'm rather pleased that I don't have to peek out at it. Still, I'm a little nervous and end up lying awake for a few hours. Then at about dawn I hear all kinds of movement outside the tent. It wakes my friends up too. Roosters. About a dozen roosters are all walking around us. That is really fucking odd. I didn't know there was a farm out here. My buddy who owns the land says that there shouldn't be. Well, anyway, I say I'm glad that it's just roosters. I was woken up last night by something I thought was a bit bigger. It was at this point that one of my friends points out that there is a second fire 10 feet from ours.
Holy shit, what did you do after that?
Kicked some roosters. Packed up the tent. Put the fires out and covered them with dirt. Walked home. Ate pancakes. We went out exploring the area that afternoon, but we didn't find any signs of other people or the roosters. Just a weird thing. I'd think it bothered the guy that lived around there more than it bothered me and the other fellow. I suppose he got the idea that some odd hobo was raising chickens in his backyard. I couldn't even guess why someone would make a second fire. If we weren't crammed into such a tiny tent that we were practically laying on one anther, I would accuse one of the other guys of making the second fire as a prank. I have an aunt who pretty much lives in the woods. Nothing but trees and one other house around her for about 3 miles in one direction and forever in the other. One evening she is waiting for FedEx and hears a really loud banging at the front door. She opens the main door to yell at the FedEx guy for knocking so loud, but it's a fucking black bear beating the screen door with its front paws. She screams and it backs off enough for her to close the main door. She's home alone and while there are guns in the house, she has never shot one and isn't comfortable with them. She starts calling people for help when she hears a knock at her side door. She goes up to the floor above it and looks down in time to the bear burst through the side door and into her basement. By the time we get there to help her, the bear is long gone. But my old man and her husband call the local game boys and we hang a new, stronger, door. They sent a bunch of guys out hunting that bear but no one ever found it. About 6 years later her husband is out at his garage, about 500 feet from the house, and he notices their old station wagon had been broken into. The bear is curled up in the back, having broken the hatchback open. The fucker is dead. Old Agent Cold killed him apparently.
If you're not careful, and you no clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist pianos, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of pieces played with the kazoo at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. Oh my god, an organ just flew over my house.
Rumor has it backrooms will make you lose your composure.
You don't even understand how mystical Johann Sebastian Bach actually was. There are layers upon layers of
Bach is playing, but it slowly transitions to automaton covers when you get in the dark, and your sanity slowly starts dripping away from you.
accidentally zone into the Bach rooms. Oh cool, Bach is playing, it's only ironic automaton covers. The next day, I was found dead, having hung myself with my socks. Well gentlemen, I'm drunk. And I feel this is about the only time I can really tell this story. So here it goes. In Afghanistan, Marine Squad leader. On an extended patrol, basically sit out there and watch the surrounding desert, occasionally catch a few guys emplacing IEDs. About 0130, checking up on my guys to make sure they aren't falling asleep, need anything. Get to my last Vic. Guy in the turret says he is watching a group of about 5 guys walking to a compound in the distance on thermals. Grab thermals, get talked onto them, and that's when it gets weird. They were colder than the surrounding environment. Weird. Keep eyes on since nothing else to do. Entire time they are still heading to this compound in the distance. Get there, they spend about 5 minutes milling around outside. Looks like they go to the front gate a few times, but hard to see. Don't know how, but they got the gate opened and sprint right inside. Hear distant gunshots, call it in. COC says check it out, could be Taliban fucking up the locals. Get everyone up and ready, blackout conditions, and move to the compound. Rolling up on the compound, about 500 meters away. See a kid book it out of the compound, run straight out, happens to be toward us. I say fuck it, flip on the lights. He sees our lights, heads right for us even faster than he did before. Gets to us, starts screaming at us, and our terp is flipping shit. Just as he got to us, 8 dudes came out of the compound and started sprinting towards us as well. Still 300 meters away, so we pop a star cluster at them to get them to halt. Still running. 200 meters away, pop another. Kid is still babbling, terp is screaming to shoot. Get on radio, keep COC updated, they hit 100 meters, pen flare goes off. 50 meters, COC says it's my call. They are now in range of our headlights, all of them are covered in blood. I give the go ahead. Too close to effectively use our .50s and marks, so thank fuck my turret gunners grabbed their saws instead. Whole squad had dismounted by then, Doc was checking the kid. 8 dudes getting lit up by 3 saws and the rest of the squad mag dumping with their rifles. Needless to say, didn't take long since we were Marines and we generally don't miss. Check the bodies, all unarmed but drenched in blood, more than could be accounted for with our 5-second one-sided firefight. Call it in. Head to check out the compound. Set up a cordon, I take the dismounts and terp up to compound. Terp is screaming to just level the place with an airstrike. Fucking Terps, always saying we should use way more than we should. Sometimes they're right. At the gate, not forced open but there was body parts right on the inside, looked like one person got ripped apart. Real nasty, worse than when I saw a chick ripped in half from a mortar. Guns up, clearing the rest of the compound. Everyone inside either has their guts ripped out, arms ripped off, necks torn out or otherwise dismembered and dead. Call in what we found, COC tells me to stand by. Smoke a couple of cigarettes, Terp is asking when the airstrike is coming in. COC finally gets back and tells me that a special human exploitation team is coming out to assist. What? We've got a kid who is basically in shock and a whole bunch of dead bodies. Whatever, they want us to wait, we'll wait. COC also says not to go into the compound, could be rigged with IEDs, thanks for the timely intel guys. Wait for about 45 minutes when I get a call from a hello asking us to mark an LZ for them. Alright, don't know why they couldn't just drive out here. Hope we don't have to drive them back to whatever FOB they came from after they're done. Hello shows up, lands, drops off 3 dudes then takes off. Hello Corporal Anon, I'm Major so-and-so, heard you had something interesting for my team. Human exploitation team. Anyone care to explain to those of us who aren't former service what this actually means? Interrogation, building trust with locals, gleaning info, give him a rundown of events leading up to the shoot order. Did you go inside? Yes sir, we did. We conducted a full search of the compound, found nothing. He gets quiet, goes over to the bodies, uses blue light on his flashlight to check out the bodies. Blue light makes it easier to see fluids like blood and oil at night. He calls his 2 guys over, says a few words and they drop their packs and start changing into MOPP gear. Think rubber suits, rubber boots, rubber gloves, and gas masks, if you don't know. Tells me to just wait. More waiting. They go inside, spend 5 minutes and then, about 5 to 8 gunshots, real quick, probably different people shooting simultaneously. Oh shit. Without thinking I grab a couple of my guys and book it to the compound again, calling out for the major. Oh fuck, if we missed a spider hole or something and got them killed, we are fucked. I'm the first one in through the gate and just as I got through it, one of the guys steps right in front of me and says everything is fine, they just had a negligent discharge. He also says they found an IED manufacturing room and that we should leave since it isn't safe and they are doing the same. What? Who the fuck just accidentally shoots off 8 rounds? And we sure as shit didn't miss something as big or important as IED components. They finish up, Hello comes back and picks them up. We head back to base, get redirected to no explanation, just told to go and link up with the captain. Already exhausted, we get there at like 0800. As soon as we called in for permission to enter friendly lines, we get told to wait. Again. 30 minutes of sitting in front of this gate, waiting. Finally get waved through and we are immediately directed to a staging area right on the inside of the wire. Guys are standing in MOPP suits, get told to dismount and shed all our gear. Apparently, the major found evidence of possible chemical weapons in the IED factory.